See what I'm doing. And if you are here from the FYP, you're here for the first time. Welcome in, welcome in. I am Coach Robin Renee, and in this capacity, I'm operating as your hostess in the self care suite. This is where we come Sunday afternoons to kick off our shoes, relax our feet, and discuss the many ways to wellness. We exchange useful, sustainable, low cost or no cost self care strategies because our financial challenges should not prevent us from investing in our wellness account every single day. There should be something that we can do for our self care every single day. So let me know how that volume sounds, Ty, if you're still in here. And I want to come in the capacity of just a facilitator for a conversation, not as a teacher coming in dictating or telling people what to do. I will share some self-care strategies that I've used that have been successful for me, some that have not worked out so well. Hey, this is Brielle. How are you? Let us know where you are chiming in from so that we can know where our reach is. I'm a blink because we over here in America. Help. Help, we over here in America. But you know, if you're coming in from another side of the globe, or if you are um, Easton Johnson, I'm not sure. Maybe by face. If I saw you, I'm not sure. So where would I remember you from, Easton? Where would I remember you from? If I'm remembering you, where would I remember you from? Just let me know, let me know, let me know. And then maybe that can help to jog my memory. But hello and welcome in. Welcome for joining. Oh yeah, from being here on the live. Yeah, I thought you meant from like a physical place. Okay, no, I thought you meant from a like a back in the day type physical place situation. Situation. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the live. So just chime in. Let us know what side of the globe you are on. What did you do last week, or what did you do today, or what do you have planned for your self care? Okay, so Brielle, I'm not really sure what's going on, but yeah, we may need to offer some assistance over here. We'll try it first. Again, tubers, I only ask that you be respectful so that the people who really want to be here are here and I'm able to communicate with them. And so I won't be ending the live like I typically would when people get out of hand on the tube. I'm just going to put you in a place. How about that? Put you in a place where you may be able to think about some things, where you may have some chances to invest in your own wellness account. That's what we'll do. So we're going to look at that. We're going to put you in an extra special place. You just learn how to speak Korean. That's really good. It is really good to be versatile. It is really good to be versatile and multilingual so that you can communicate with more people. That is good stuff. Did you learn from a class? Did you learn how to speak Korean from a class? Or did you learn, just in conversational speaking? Okay, 3D farmer. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But holla at me. Holla at your girl. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. What's going on. We are about in the mid 80s, our temps, and it's like very, very humid. But that's my type of stuff. But how they do that? Clock that. That's my type of weather. So it is warm, or a little bit more on the warmer side from what some people would like. But I like it. I actually like it. Okay, now the talk is telling me to do something, and I'm not going to push any buttons because I don't know what it's telling me to do. I don't know what it's telling me to do. But welcome on into the self-care suite. I am Coach Robin Renee, your hostess here in the self-care suite. We meet on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time to kick off our shoes, relax our feet, and discuss the many ways to wellness. We exchange self care strategies that are useful, sustainable, low cost, or no cost. Because we don't want financial challenges to stop us from investing in our wellness account every single day. We should be able to do something every single day, even if it's like taking a nap. Taking a nap, taking a walk, all those count. Every little step you take towards your wellness counts. It's a win. It's a win. It's a win. It's a win. You are winning as long as you are intentionally depositing. I like to say depositing into your wellness account. So typically on Sundays, I made the commitment at the beginning of the year that I would come on Sunday afternoons to, have a space where people can make an appointment with themselves to say, if I didn't do anything else all week, at least I know in the self care suite that I can come. Oh, let me teeter back over. That I can come and, talk about those things that will help me to better care for myself, right? So that was the goal behind this thing, because Sundays are my chill days, and yeah, like being out here, like in this hammock, the best, the best, the best, the best. But I made the commitment, so I'm gonna follow through. But what I'm seeing, because halfway through, we're halfway through the year. So what I am seeing is there's a difference in terms of the dynamics between the two apps. I started off with three apps. And so in January, I think I did that from like the whole first Q1. So January, February, and March, I was on three apps. The other app, not really sure in terms of the impact there, because I was new to the app, and so it was a little difficult to understand the algorithm there at first. Now I just think that it may need to be updated. It may need to either be updated, that other app updated, or activated. I'll just say that activated a little bit more to create a little more traction on that particular app. So I don't really go live over there too much. From time to time I will, but for the most part I don't. So now I'm down to just the two apps, which is the Talk and the Tube. And so there is a difference in the dynamics of the audiences, at least for me, and at least for what I do. The difference is we on the talk encourages constant interaction. I'll say that. So I have to, I got to choose my words wisely, because then the talk will be trying to shut me down, saying I'm saying some negative stuff, and I'm not. These are observations. So what I see more on the talk is over the tube. On the talk is like it has to be fed constantly, like the the little shop of horrors, little shop of horrors. You remember that plant, that Venus flytrap? You have to feed me more. That's what I feel like with the talk. You have to constantly feed it, feed it, feed it, feed it. So you have to constantly be engaging, interacting. So you're tapping on the screen, you're talking in the, chatting in the comments, you're speaking back to the host, you're, tapping stars and darts and whatever it is. You're doing a lot when it comes to the talk. And for some people, it could be overwhelming. Now, initially, when I started, on the talk, and I wasn't sure of, how to operate, the live, and, all doing all of the things. I didn't know. So I would be sitting in somebody's live just watching. But then I started seeing, different, how different live hosts operated, and some would actually get upset. If you're coming and you're in their live and they're like, you just watching me, that's creepy. Or what. I understand it now. Like, I have a much better understanding now of why they would think like that. But I was one of those people in the beginning. Once I learned, of course, I learned to go in and you say hi. Like you enter in the room, you say hi. You speak to the host or the hostess of the room. If you're going to get your heart me, you get the daily heart me. And if you don't know what that is, that's like attendance. So so tubers, this is, I'm going to talk about specifically to the talk. It's like you're checking in. So that's your attendance. That lets the app know that you are in attendance and that you are present in the room. So that, and the monetary value of it is 1 cent. And it does not go to the host, because, the house got to get paid first. So you give it to the house. So if you thinking, I'm not giving her anything, you're not. Trust, you're not. Because the percentages they would need to take out on that 1 cent, it's not going to happen, because it's 1 cent. But at least it's your way of checking in, with attendance. And also, so I do know that on the tube, yeah, the interaction is encouraged as well, but it's more or less interaction with the host, who's running the live, as well as in the comments. Now, are there penalties? I don't know. I don't know if there are penalties on the tube. I haven't experienced that, so I really don't know. But on the talk, what I understand that if you're not doing these things, or if you're, people in your room or you're on your live are not doing those things, that yeah, it's kind of like you're getting penalized. So you have to keep encouraging people. Tap on the screen, share the live, let somebody else know, that you're in here. So there's a lot of interaction. And for some people, that could be overstimulating. It could be overstimulating. And if we're here, at least in this space, we're here, discussing the many ways to wellness. Well, one of those ways to wellness for some people could be to calm down the stimulus around them, so that they don't get so overstimulated. And then that's kind of a little difficult to do when you're in a space like this, because the app, the rules of engagement on the app are to encourage you to do those things that may get some people's anxiety elevated. And we don't want to be getting folks' anxiety elevated. That's just not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. We're here to help people to walk a little bit better, or, well, more intentional. I'm not even going to say better. Just walk a little bit more intentional along their wellness journey. That's what we want to do. We want to make things make sense. Make things make sense in your mind, in your body, in your soul. That's what the goal is here. So that's why when I'm coming on, I'm asking, what did you do for the past week in terms of being intentional? What did you intentionally do for your self-care? What did you intentionally do to say, this is for me? Putting everybody else and everything else over there, and then this is what I'm doing for me. So that's where the check-in is coming in. And then the other, I want to know. I want to know where we are coming from, what side of the globe. So I've, had some exciting people in here. I mean, the UK has a strong presence. So, I've seen the UK, Kenya, Botswana, Costa Rica, Turkey. Who else have I had in here? Italy. Where else? Do you know I had somebody from Antarctica? So I don't know if they were visiting there or what. They may have been on an excursion or something. But I was like, whoa, whoa. So they may have been doing some excursion there. I don't know. What could have been a news person? I don't know. But I find it interesting just to see where people are, chiming in from. And even if it's in the U.S., I'm still, curious about what the reach is in the U.S. So that's a part of why we want to check in. And then it also helps to create community. It helps to create community so that we can see where we're reaching. We can see who we're reaching. We can see how what we're doing is impacting people in whatever space that they are in. So that's why we want to check in. We want to check in. And that's so essential as well. And let's see, yeah, so the talk does a lot. Bars. And I'll be having bars too. The talk does a lot. That's so essentials wellness. How are ya? How are you? What's going on? So we're just checking in, chitting and chatting about our self-care. We want to see where things are, where people are, and where you are in your self-care journey, or where you are on your self-care journey. Again, this is Sunday afternoon, and this is where it kicked you out. Yeah, okay, Ty, we've been having these conversations about the talk. And I made some, decisions, but I'm still going to stick it through. I'm going to stick through the commitment that I made. That's just how I operate. That's how I roll. I made the decision to commit to opening up or sharing my Sundays. But my Sundays are my chill days. Like, really. I'm not trying to do anything but be out here. Outside. This is not even I'm outside. Be outside in my hammock, just hanging out, chilling. But I'm going to follow through. But I see, at least right now, and I think I have a substantial amount of information to make the decision that so you can self-care daily. Look, I gotta put my readers on, child. These eyes. Okay, you do self-care daily, love daily movement. Yes, and your skincare. Ooh. Yes, making sure. So a lot of people don't think about that with their skincare. Your skincare does need to be a part of your self-care. And being intentional daily. And it doesn't take a lot. Like, you can even do some breathing. So when I teach people in my classes, if you're doing breathing and you're doing your breath work, like we do breath work at the beginning of each class, you're doing Pilates. You're doing Pilates, you're doing your breath work. So you're taking care of the entire body. Yes. Yes. You know, we have so many systems. We got 11 systems in our body. And if you want to count the body as a whole, let's, put that on number 12. But think about if you picked a system each month to work on, to cleanse or to activate or to stimulate or to calm down. You picked a system each month, you'll be busy taking care of you the whole year. You'll be busy taking care of you the whole year. It'll keep you out of, shenanigans too. It'll keep you out of all the things that can keep your anxiety up or can put you in some unfavorable spaces. And that's Mustafa. Mustafa Entertainment Channel. Hello. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Let us know what side of the globe you are chiming in from. So yeah. So I have been observing. So this is my observation between the two, in terms of the way I operate, in terms of my personality. Brooklyn's in the house. What's up, BK? What's up, Brooklyn? Okay, see, it's a lot. I don't know what's happening over here on the talk, but wait a minute. Okay, talkers. So what I'm noticing in terms of, like I just did the explanation of the amount of stimulation that you need to stay active or engaged on the talk, it's high energy. It's, at least that's the way I feel about it. It's high energy. And I have seen some chill type of lives as well. But in terms of you being able to actively support the host, you do need to constantly tap on the screen, right? You do need to be talking, in the comments. And for me, that it's starting to take the fun out. Like there are a lot of things that are going on, and having to be responsible for so many things. And in terms of what I'm doing when I'm on the live, one, I am a teacher. I am a wellness advocate, right? So a wellness advocate, a supporter, yeah. So it makes it a little bit more difficult because of the things that I do. I want people to be present, and when we're talking about movement, if people are present during movement, because I do those lives twice a week, it's difficult to be tapping on the screen and sharing stuff. So yeah, you have to continuously tell people to tap on the screen, or else that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling like you're being penalized, as the host or hostess, and what you're doing is trying to encourage people. And some of the things that we do, especially as wellness professionals, we're helping people to not be so active. We're helping people to tap into themselves and to be still in their own minds, and so that's a little difficult. So for what I do, and that's what I'll say, I'm going to make it specific to me. I'm not generalizing it, but my observations of for what I do, it's a lot to do to maintain the connection, of community. It also, and I'm saying this from a professional standpoint, but I got to say this anyway to the talk and to the two. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I am certified in what I'm about to talk about. Been certified since 1992. Yeah, I think since now how many years that is? Since 1992. It's been a long time. But this is my professional, not professional opinion. I can say that assessment. It ain't no opinion because it's true. Assessment. Having people to focus on that one thing, the way that I'll say certain social media apps. I ain't even gonna point one out, but the way certain social media apps have people to focus, and I'm using that word focus loosely, on the thing or the engagement part of it, is encouraging addictive behavior. It's encouraging, like you got to be so focused on it. You can't do anything else. Like I'm not talking about, multitasking, or I'm not talking about, but just say for instance, if you want to be in someone's live and you try to lay down, you just chilling, you just holding a conversation. So if you're like, you're thinking of you're on the phone, like a video call, well, you got to be tapping on the screen. You got to tap on the screen. You got to talk. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of things are going on. So, but when you're talking about when you get up, so if you're looking at it like from the host perspective, so ridiculous even at 2 a.m. Yeah, because they're exhausted. Well, this is what I'm guessing. Again, I got to say for entertainment purposes only. I got to put my disclaimers out there. I'm guessing is once you get a taste of the money, let's just say that. So you like what? Wait, you're like what y'all have to talk about? Yeah, it's 2 in the morning. Right, right, right. So when you get a taste of the money, right? So that's the introduction, or that's the gateway into this wonderful world. And you see all these people about how you can monetize, and things you can do. And I'm not saying it's not true, because I do know it's true, and I do know people who are monetized, on the app. But when you look at the sorts of things that you would need to do, is this you? Yep, Ty. The sorts of things that you would need to do in order to maintain that status, it's bordering on addictive behavior. I mean, it really is. It's
No,
encouraging. Can you hear
I
me?
have to agree with you. Could you hear me, Coach?
Yep, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, now you're breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's extremely addictive. I've seen people on the app all day, doing the app through work multiple times a day. And it was like once those people weren't even on it, and like you said, when they got a taste of the few coins that they make, and it doesn't even add up anyways when you think about per hour what it takes to gain that, or doing the what's the next thing, the battle in or something, like, oh my
Yes.
goodness, I saw what the battle was. Nonsensical.
So for
it's
me,
it's it's
with the battles, at first, now when I first started, seeing them, and I was, trying to support creators, because I didn't know. I mean, but my nerves were like on 10 each time, and I'm like, this is like, what is this all about? Like, this is, because you hear throw this and give me this and throw me this and this, so you're trying to. But to me, that's reckless, financial decision making. You have to do that fast. I don't gamble. So if I'm, and I love going to Vegas, but I love the lights, I love the shows, I eat, well out there, but I don't gamble, not a penny, not 1 cent. I don't gamble, so it doesn't calculate out nothing. People like, well, can I give you $10? You can give it to me, but I'm going to get some food. I'm telling you that now. I'm not going to no casinos, unless it's a show. I'll do concerts at a casino, but it took me a while before it dawned on me, like, this is gambling. Like, this is, it was beginning to be ridiculous, because there were so many hosts that I was trying to support. So for me personally, I had to pull back. Like, wait a minute, this is a bit much. And just like what you said, people who I only saw hosting like just regular talking lives are now on here battling. I'm like, I thought you didn't battle. But here we are.
yeah, it just I remember I started to host lives, and I found that it was a great way to connect to people. There were several things that I came to the conclusion with. One, sometimes people come to it for their own benefits, to talk about something you're not interested in talking about, because we're just talking about Pilates. We're talking about self care. I don't want to talk about Love Island. And then you have to kind of kick them off. Two, the whole battling thing. They said that the only way to grow on TikTok is to battle. So then people are pushing you to battle. Three, my coins, I will tap up TikTok, and then I don't have any money. I'm like, where's the money? And I was like, you know what? Right now, I just don't have no money to put on TikTok. Like, I am sorry, but I didn't start TikTok to be spending money like this. And then the last thing is this favor for favor. If I don't like what you're saying, I don't want to feel obligated to give you something.
Uh-huh.
And people make you feel so obligated. Oh, I'm going to stop by your live. I'm going to bless you. No, there's no need to bless me. If you don't know, like what I'm talking about, and it's a part of self care, because what ends up happening is that you get some level of anxiety now coming on the app, coming on your live, because, oh, I didn't, someone came on my live and was like, yeah, but you didn't come to my life to support me. I'm sorry, I have a full-time job, a kid, and have other things going on. I didn't know you were live. I don't turn on TikTok notifications.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So
I
in
appreciate it.
self-care, I think it's important that, just to go back to your topic, which I respectfully do, in self-care, I think is that we need to take inventory of the things that we're doing, and to see whether or not do we truly want to live in this space. Hey, Tasha.
Yep. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Crystal. Yeah, it
Hey,
is. It's
Crystal.
a lot. It's a lot. And just tagging on, to what you're saying in terms of building community. You have the whole follow people, and it's not me being arrogant. I'm not being arrogant in this respect. If I'm on here, I know why I came. I'm very clear why I came. I have a business. I'm a Pilates teacher. I'm a wellness advocate. I'm a teacher. In that respect as well. So I know why I'm here. I'm not confused. I'm not here, looking for 10,000 or 20,000 people to follow just to follow. I'm here to offer my services. So that's what I'm here for. So my guess is if you decided to follow me, you liked something that you saw that I was doing. So I'm guessing that's why you're following me. But to get angry or to get upset, well, I'm gonna, unfollow you. Okay. I, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with basket weaving because I've seen some beautiful baskets. But I'm not following someone that's weaving baskets. Not because it's a bad thing. It's because I want my algorithm or my feed or whatever it is to reflect what it is that I want to learn more about or the community that I want to build with. And that's people in wellness spaces and Pilates. Pilates would be I guess the mothership. But wellness, if you're, it's like the sound healers, even the yoga teachers, Tai Chi, like those sorts of things that help to balance the mind and the body. That's the space that I'm in. That's the journey that I'm on. That's why I end up leaving the other apps because those were actual people. Now, the people I have on the other apps, a good 90%, definitely 80%, I actually knew them. Like physically knew them from some space or point in time. And that was bad for business because they would just come and look. Like you saw my video and you see me out, right? This is an example. We had Mr. Jones' funeral. You told me about something that I posted last month. So you saw that. You didn't comment on it. You didn't like it. You just thank you so much for getting your heart, me, Crystal. So that was weird to me. So you want to talk to me and Mr. Jones is up there in the casket. And now you want to talk to me about Pilates. That was just weird to me. And I had to look at it. So as a business owner, I had to just totally pull out. Just totally pull out and just leave those apps alone. And I've seen them. You know how, on the talk, they'll say, this is somebody you may know. That's my cousin. I know her. I'm not. that's my third grade bestie. I know her. But for business, and there's nothing personal against them as people because I'm still gonna talk to you, we still gonna hang out. But as far as business, I had to make smarter moves when I decided to leave those apps. So now on the tube, on the talk, I move a whole lot differently. I like it. I mean, I like
Yeah.
the way I'm moving, but the way certain apps are operating, I know it's not for me.
Yeah, I definitely, when it comes on, so on other apps, I separate my Pilates stuff from my personal stuff. And I am very intentional, even on this app, to only push Pilates. So if you come on my page, you don't really have to guess, hey, is she going to be talking about Pilates or she's going to be talking about Sex in the City? And I think it's important to that. But also, I find on this app, though I have a lot of issues with it, it's an easier app to build community.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do find like the recommended, like if they do recommend someone to me, more than likely it's someone that you may have followed or that follows you, or they may show me something that you like because you're in my community, and then we move from there. And it's like, okay, you like it, so maybe she would like it. So I love that aspect. But the weirdness that happens with coming out of the 200 region of viewership only to fall back to that, and your content not being pushed no matter how consistent you are, but people telling you consistency and this and that, that is like this up and down thing that they do with your emotions. And I can't like buy into it, and I can't buy into coming on live multiple times a day as if the lives are building my business, because the truth is the lives don't. I've never been on a live. I've met new people, but I've never been on a live. And the people that I've met on the live has utilized my business at this point. It's always through whatever is on my story. Like the story is moving now, and the actual For You page.
Mm-hmm. That
No,
is true.
yeah, Tasha, the
See what
comments
Tasha
that
said?
you see, you don't even, I don't even have the ability to pin, and I go on live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right about that, Tasha. And, but they make the decision. Well, from my understanding, I'm still learning, and I guess I'll continue to learn about it. But they're making the decision based on like your performance previously. So if you're not out here twerking, and if you don't come out flipping out in a thong and all, hello. If you don't come out in a thong and you shaking it fast, then that's not that interesting to get them to push it out. But even with 200 people or 300 people, that's a lot of people. Like, think physically. If you were in a room with 200 people, that's a lot of people paying attention to you. But psychologically, but they
I
have
don't
you
know if
thinking
those
that
people,
it's bad.
that's my problem though. I don't know if those people are even paying attention to you, right? Because like I did a test, and I know this is not about TikTok marketing, but sorry. This is the last thing I'll say this. I did a test with actually advertising a particular thing to see how it will do, and I look at the metrics. Why is it like 18-year-olds and some
Yes.
weird
Thank you
people
for getting your heart.
that they're sending that to versus sending it to the community? Because also when they, because I hear the thing like 200 people. Here's the thing: when you think about that concept of 200 people, right? 200 people viewed it, 10%, so 20 people like it. They should really be pushing it more, because the average person, you have a million views, not even 1% of those million views actually interacted with the content. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, totally.
They should be pushing it more, but they don't. They keep it at the 200 for whatever reason, or the 300.
So that you can work
Then,
harder. They want you to work harder.
yeah, but then you will do something like I did a post about Halle Berry in her white bikini and stuff. That got like 11,000 views with, say it will have like 74 likes. That's the amount of interaction. That is worse than the 200 views at 10%, at
Correct.
20. Does that make any
Yeah, it
sense?
does. It does because it's a popularity
Okay.
thing, and I do. I mean, it's kind of a little unusual. I'll just say that for me to not necessarily jump on a trend, depending on what it is. Now, if it's some fun stuff like the little cute thing with I'd rather eat a 5x7 rug instead of like that one. I think is kind of funny because of the stuff that people are coming up with. But the way people are jumping on, MJW, and what happened to him, I, I just don't think you should gain traction from that. That's just me personally. That was a tragedy. I don't think you should gain traction from somebody's demise. Like, but a lot of people are jumping on it, using him to
Oh,
push their
yes.
content out. I mean, that was terrible. And even when they're comparing, him with, I'm just using their initials with MT. Like now they're gonna finally be united. But this man had a whole wife. He had a whole family. What him and
Mm.
MT had, that's when they were teens. They were teens and young adults. They did have a love. You know what I mean? They did have, some form of relationship. But he's going to be reunited with someone else. Well, we believing in the Bible. You ain't supposed to be reunited with nobody like that anyway. I'm just saying. You ain't going up there to be humping on nobody. I'm just saying. You got
Yeah, I don't do
the
those.
souls.
There
It's
are
just
a lot of
weird.
trends that are popping.
It's weird.
I don't even look those. If it has nothing to do, I did the Halle Berry. I spoke about her
Right.
because we're talking about age. We're talking about menopause. Halle Berry is very big when you're talking about like health. She
Correct.
believes solely in working out, all those sorts of things. That's it. But when it comes on to monetizing or getting traction based on something that has nothing to do with what you're doing, is crazy business to me.
But people do it all the time because it's those numbers. So what it's translating to, and again, for entertainment purposes only, even though I got degrees, advanced degrees in this, the psychology and how the mind works. But professional experience and all, but I gotta say for entertainment purposes only. But what that's doing, the word like, the LIKE, translate, even though, and this is just human nature, this all of us, I'm gonna raise my hand, like this is all of us, this is how humans think. Even though it's liking technically your content on these apps, it changes into how people like me, like how people feel about me. You got to pull yourself out of it. Like, hold up, I don't, I'm not even into that. But you got to pull yourself out from time to time. But what about the people who get the likes who didn't get people to like them before? And so now they're, they're thriving and vibing off of the likes. Well, when those things are taken away, just like I don't know if you were around when the first shutdown happened, baby, I was on 3 lives that night and I saw people crashing out, like crashing out because of the community that they had built, because of the money that they had made. And one in particular was making thousands and thousands and thousands per live. So I'm like, I know why she was crashing out. Like that was a lot of money, that she was losing. But that translated to these are my people. Like, are we really building genuine community? Are we really building genuine relationships when it comes to this if we're so stuck on what happens, especially in the lives? Now, some people, we connect, like we connect, like we're connecting because we do have that commonality. But for the most part, at least what I've been seeing, people are coming to try and get likes or to do likable things, or to be accepted into other people's arms. I just mean virtual arms, to be accepted into other people's arms, to say, oh, you're a good person. Like, so you have some good content. Like, just, create some quality content. Now, I'm not saying you come with a lens that's smeared with oil and, you got stains all on your shirt. Now, I'm not even talking about all that. That's what I'm talking about. But you keep using the word quality. You have to have high quality content. And then you'll flip and say, but don't go out and buy no equipment. Use what you already have. Well, child, if I got a 4, my phone is a 4 and they on a 14 now, what am I to do? Like, what is high quality? What is high quality content? It confuses people.
I think what's important, if they're looking at this as a business, which most are, is that it's not just about high quality, it's sustainability. And the fact that this app can disappear in a moment, that means that your product is not sustainable. It's not built on that. So hopefully what they're doing is that they're actually converting the people from here, which is actually pretty difficult, and bringing them other places where they own that platform, because you don't own anything here. You will go up and then it shows you that you will come crashing down.
Yep.
I do believe you should invest in anything that you do, because your quality speaks for itself. But it's like, you have to also look at what's your return on that investment, because I'm telling you, people, you're going to see eye problems. You're going to see issues with their wrist problems. You're going to see so many issues coming from being on this phone for a crazy amount of hours.
Baby, like, when I see them, I'm like, you still on? And yeah, I open it up more than 10 times a day sometimes, depending on what I got going on. Because sometimes I'm taking a break from something. Like, I just, just do my mindless scrolling. But then it's like, this is the same live. Like, you still in the same position.
Yeah, I see that.
This is still the same line. We move around. We're moving around. So you may get some static in one space. We may be in and out because we're going in and out of places and spaces. But to sit there, but I think that that's a part of that obligation. Like, I have to do this in order for me, to make this money, because I've seen it. Like, I've seen the money, like the mountaintop. I've seen the mountaintop. Like, I've seen $1,000 in my account, and I need to get back there. But what is that? What is that? When you're chasing something, right? When you're chasing something, and my certifications in addictions, not just the rugs to the deep. It's not just that. We're talking about gambling. We're talking about, sex. We're talking about eating, because there is a certain demeanor or certain dynamics that operate when it comes to addictive behavior. So the substance or the object, you know what, DM Rap, look, I'm glad you came in here, because I'm about to show you what I learned over here. This is what I learned over here, because you will not be with us today.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
Multiple times a day. And like, I was trying to do the live, and I did it for a couple of hours. But the next week, I was burnt out. I was like, oh, no.
Well, I do my Monday and Friday for my classes, and then I do, this Sunday. And for me, that's it. And I do random. So if I'm out walking, and I found people like my silent nature walks. Like, that was I didn't even intend on coming and doing it. I was like, oh, let me just turn this on just to show people, different scenery of the places where I am, but they liked it. Like, well, when are we doing this again? Well, look, I ain't about to pick up a new job now, because this is working me 17 times harder than my full-time job, and for 22 cents. Literally, for 22 cents. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. When are we? But I did share with you after I did those 10 free classes, when the girl got in my DMs and was like, "Are the free classes really over?" Girl, can I take your temperature? Because you did not come and ask me, are the free classes really over? You got 10 of them. Yeah, they're over. They're over. But yeah, people have that expectation. It can be a lot, Tasha. Yep, it can be a whole lot. A whole lot. Thank you so much for giving your heart.
I've seen on TikTok too, and on the talk, is that with that addictive behavior comes other, right? So you see, like, people going on Ozempic, people buying these extremely expensive things, people doing a lot of things to keep up this facade.
Hey, Kim.
And it is really crazy out here where the addiction kind of takes you because this is now your job. And what I found is that people become like pathological liars.
Yep.
They make up things that are not true
Yep.
just to get like people to follow them. And then there's this big trend on this app that's called story time, where you just get on it now and just start talking your entire business that apparently you needed to go to therapy for. But you think it's cool to, oh, let me tell you how I just got kidnapped, or I was just flown out by this guy that didn't pay for nothing, looking real crazy. And I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
I'm just like, ooh, child. Like, there was one time, like, you had some shame about you, and you will just keep it to yourself because, you know, like, it's embarrassing. But no, if nothing is embarrassing and nothing is off limits now, because let me just air out my dirty laundry how I'm sleeping with the dentist next door and knew his wife was right there. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
people are doing these crazy things
Yeah.
for likes.
And mediocrity appears to be getting rewarded. Mediocrity and shenanigans, malarkey, and foolishness. Those seem to be the
Yeah.
things that are getting rewarded. And so when
Of
you're,
course, because they go viral. There was one that I saw today. It was so interesting. So there was this woman and she was dancing and her husband was behind her. And in the top it was like, oh, I'm a transgender or whatever. At first, you know, if you're scrolling, you don't know. Oh, but this went viral. All of you guys are upset just because I admit it. I'm like, but there was a time that we would have just kept things to ourselves. Why are we out here just like I just no shame, no
because
shame. I'm so
it's being
sorry.
encouraged under the guise of keeping it a buck or keeping it a thou wow. You know, like my nephews never be saying, I'm gonna keep it a band, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, auntie, because I think a band is 1,000, and then I'm gonna keep it a thou, whatever. But it's under the guise of that. Like I'm being authentic. You know, when I do
Yeah.
that. No, you telling your business. I mean, I'm Gen X. I'm a 60s baby, you know, raised in the 70s and 80s, and we just didn't do that. We just didn't do it. And it's not about you're ashamed, you know, you're ashamed of and you're keeping secrets. It's not your business. It's not a
It's
secret.
not no, no.
It's
It's
not a
everyone's
secret.
business.
It's
Like,
just
come
not
and
your
talk about what you
business.
want to talk about and get off. Like, what? Hey, Crystal. Hi, both Crystals.
Tasha laughing. I mean, but there is a thing that, you know, and I'm not even gonna say it's a thin line because it should be a solid line. It should be a clearly defined line between you sharing your business is your choice. First of all, let's say that is your choice, is your business. But you sharing your business and you being authentic, you can be authentic and you can be truthful about a subject. And you know what you're saying, Ty, like a case in point, we're talking about Pilates, we're talking about wellness. Yeah, I'm gonna tell the truth about that. You know, yes, I'm gonna, but my business is not that I'm lying, it's just not your business. But
No,
that don't
the
mean
guy
I'm being
said. Do you
fake.
remember that guy? There's this particular and hi, Crystal, Pilates.
Hey,
There's this
Christopher
particular
Pilates.
guy. I forgot this white guy, and he came on and he was telling people how much money. A lot of people did it before, but he popularized it again, right? And he was like, in order to grow on TikTok, you have to be authentic and you have to let people into your personal life. And I just thought to myself, because he, you know, he goes on, shares his sexual status, which I don't think people need to know. I had liked the fact that he was saying that, you know, HIV medications weren't free anymore because I didn't know about that and stuff. But I'm just like, how much of yourself do you need to give in order to work and make a living?
Well, Alex, I will not be getting that $200. I won't be passing go because that's not, to me. It's a little bit irrelevant, and I get it. I mean, I've been a counselor, you know, been a therapist, social worker, all those things. I understand in terms of you developing a rapport with people, but there still has to be a guide, and then it becomes a matter of ethics at that point. And now I'm speaking from a professional perspective, but this is for entertainment purposes only. You know, there's still a matter of ethics when you're building community or you're building a relationship. You can build a good rapport. I have people. I'm gonna give you a good example. They might be on here lurking too. I don't know because they be sending me stuff. Not recently, but I'm just saying from my as you, what do you call it, your nine to stay alive, whatever. What you call
Yeah,
it?
my
Okay.
night to stay alive.
But I'm saying like a lot of people don't even know I have one of them. A lot of people don't know. They think it's all about, you know, my wellness business, but that's intentional. I'm not hiding anything. And then on my to stay alive space, Don't be sent. They done found me though. They found me though. Some of them on the other apps. Now they have. I don't think they found me over here. They just may be looking. But don't be sending me that. We're not about that. When we get there, we're about them clients. We taking care of these clients. Mine is seven
Yep.
thirty to 3:30. We taking care of these clients from 7:30 to 3:30. They do not even have my cell phone number, and some people find that really amazing. It's not amazing. They don't pay my bill. So what they gonna do? You gonna fire me because I don't give you my number? If you provide me a phone, you can have that number all day long. Why would I give you my personal number? I'm not.
Oh,
Been there 28
oh.
years and they don't have it. And I'm not.
She said
See?
28 years.
Think about it.
Yeah,
I
no,
have.
I
I've been there 28
really
years.
think that people there's a lot of oversharing. There's a lack of a real community in the real world, and we tend to get it online. There are so many things that's happening that's just changing the generations, and it's moving so much further apart. And I really actually don't like it, to
At
be
all.
honest. But it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, but and you still have to create that balance. So then you become the odd man out in some spaces, where like, well, this person is acting funny or whatever. Whatever. I just know what I learned and I understood how to operate, as a person and just being respectful of yourself. Being respectful. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Blue Collar Scholar. Like you're being respectful of yourself. You're being respectful of your own space. You have to have something to keep for yourself. Even if let's talk about, even with tithing. Let's just do that because we got a lot of Christians be out here, be doing stuff. Ain't got no business. But anyway, that ain't my business. That ain't my business. I'm just saying. But even with
Thank you,
the
caller,
tithing,
scholar.
you give some, but where does the majority go to? The majority stays with you. Corporations, they consider it charity. They don't necessarily consider it tithing. They have a certain budget they're going to use. But who keeps the majority of what's in the basket? You do. You don't reverse that and give away everything and you keep just a little to yourself. That's not, in my opinion. It's not being, you just leaving church. Okay, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. But you see, I'm just want to use that concept because that's a little bit more relatable. So if you're talking about corporations and their charitable department, which is typically somewhere around that 10, maybe 20%. But the point is, you keep the majority. Look at that as your life. You keep the majority. It's okay to share some if that's what you feel that you need in order to create that community. Because some people may be looking like, well, if you're not doing this, then I'm not gonna do this. Like I get that they only give a little. I get that, but you do have to have some sense of synergy. I don't necessarily look at it as total balance, but some sort of synergy and how your life can operate with the community that you're trying to build because you still have to
No, I
be
totally agree
you
with you.
still have to be your
I
own
will say
individual.
that when I started this app, a lot of people only thought that I did
Uh-huh.
Pilates. It was so interesting. I was like, why would you think
But you say
that?
it every time. So Ty, now according to what you're doing, like your branding, you say it every single time. So to me, it would be wild for somebody to say, "Well, I didn't know." She says she's a corporate girly and a girl's mom. I mean, like, what? Hello? Like, that's weird to me. But that lets you know that people are only looking at a certain thing. They're only listening for a certain thing.
Yeah,
You
I've
literally
been
say it.
telling you, select. I could say it like 100, and I legitimately normally say it in every single
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ty.
Yes.
You'll know my name. You'll know that I don't just. And they'll be like, "Oh, I thought Pilates was your. That was the only thing you did. You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It can get a little weird. It can definitely get a
Yeah.
little weird. But we definitely have to make sure that we maintain some autonomy when it comes to, hey Kendra, thank you so much for getting your heart me. But maintain some sort of autonomy, to still be us because you become enmeshed in this community that you've built. Now, I'm not saying it's pseudo that you're building, but let's be realistic about it. It's virtual. Can you make real
Yeah.
connections virtually? You sure can. But
Hey,
if they
Kendra.
if they snatch this away, then where are all your people? People are not even
Hey.
collecting real phone numbers or connecting anybody's email address. Now you lost your whole community. And I think that's what was happening with them people that night when they were crashing out, like
Yeah.
literally breaking down on screen. Well, what you did was you put all of your trust, all of your energy, and all of your people, your entire community in the hands of an app. And when they said, boop, I'm taking this, I'm gone. We out of here. You didn't have your people. You just out there in the dark, just reaching around. Reaching, looking. When I came back, after that shutdown. So this is absolute dementia. Yes. So when we came back, I had Asian people. It was wild. It was Asian people. I said, now wait a minute. She cute. He cute. That's funny. But where my people at? Like it was my algorithm was all off. It was totally shifted. I did not see black people for about a week. It was funny. I'm like, where my people at? So I had to go back and start looking. It was hilarious. It was hilarious because it was Asian people. And I'm like, okay, I need to go find my people. But you know, well, we know it was some shenanigans, malarkey, and foolishness behind that. That was resetting the algorithm because when it came back, you know, it reflected IG and FB. That's what it was looking like when we came back. So that was all, you know, a
And that's
matter
what
of
it's gonna look like in
yeah.
September too.
Yeah, that's what. Well, see, and that's why I'm working with my community to just go on over to the tube. So the way I operate as a consumer, you know, like you technically end up being your ideal client, whatever it is you're doing. It's just the nature of what you're doing. You know, it kind of reflects on how you operate in it. Let me say this: the nature of what you're doing with a passion. I got to say this again for entertainment purposes only, because some people run after a dollar and they get in there and find out that job wasn't what they thought it was, but they stick with it. Them be the mean people that be throwing your stuff across the counter. I'm just
Yeah,
that be the
yeah.
mean people that, but they get a big check, you know, and they got good insurance, so they stand on the job. That's not what I'm talking about. But things that you're passionate about, it becomes a part of you, a certain part of you, which is why I say you do need to maintain some sort of autonomy so you still have some control and boundaries around your own personal life. Because when you give that up, you relinquish your power. You relinquish your ability to maintain community, is what it is. Because they come back again and say, so that's what I think is going to happen. You know, is it next month? Yeah, because we're almost in August. But you know what's going to happen in September? They're trying to rearrange things so that they can have control and censorship over what we're doing. So I'm
And
encouraging my
make more
people to
money.
make more money.
Because to be honest, when you even look at the other apps, it's so hard to increase visibility. Whereby this app, it was a little easier based on what people said, but it has an interesting play where I will say, don't trust the numbers on this app. There are times when I even seen viewership at say 300 and I look back in 10 minutes and it's at 100. Don't trust your followers because more people are following you. Just don't trust those, like, people like to say with the amount of times that, or the number of times you post, you should have more followers. I was like, don't look at my follower count, because it doesn't mean that I don't have the engagement. It doesn't mean that people are not, taking up my offers. It's big on the For You page, the FYP. And I will say that means that people will like your content, but because it already come across your page, there's no reason for them to believe that they need to follow you
Correct.
and to actually whatever. But you need to pull them from every single place if they're your true customer, if they're your true community, and you need to hold them, whether it's an email address, whether I will say email, like the phone number is great too, but
Yeah, email.
robocalls are happening right
Yeah,
now. So,
email. So
but find ways to pull them from there, from your apps, to actually coming into your funnel. And so that if you're a business, there's something difference between personal and business.
it's
That
true.
if you're a business, you can still utilize it. And that should have been started from before it went down in January. And if it didn't happen then it should start right after it went down, because you see, to plan for contingencies.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But this is what I was going to say when you were talking about your follower account. Do you know who Amber Flowers is?
No idea.
Okay, so yeah, if you can look her up. So Amber does not have a huge following. I mean, I love her content. She has Spice Pilates. She's so hilarious. Well, guess who found her and who she's been training in Pilates for, like, I think she said like 6 months. Who found her on the talk?
Mm-hmm. Have no
Lizzo.
idea.
Lizzo.
Who?
Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo. Oh,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
But that shows like she doesn't not have like 1,000, I mean 100,000 people following her. She has engaging content. You know, you can tell, just from her content. I mean, she could be an actress. She's not, but I'm just saying, like, people say, well, how do you know that the genuineness? You can, kind of, you feel people's energy. But that's how she found her. She found her on social media. So
Yeah.
that was targeted.
And,
However, her algorithm went out to the FYP. Lizzo found her.
exactly. And so there was this girl. She has like 2,000 followers, and she sings about Drake. It's the weirdest, infatuation.
Drake,
You see
Aubrey
all
Drake.
these weird things, and all of a sudden Drake is sending her something. It's an interesting thing she has going for her. This little girl that sings in the backyard, and you're just looking at her like, what are we doing? And they, because here's what's really happening. The line between celebrities and normal people is not what it used
It's
to be.
not 6 degrees of separation anymore. It's not. It's not.
No, it's not. And what's happening is that the influencers or the micro influencers, they hold the market.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're seeing that business are actually actively scouting for the next person or to influence their micro markets, because what's also happening is that even brands, if you look at the market, brands are not selling anymore. So they need micro influencers. They need people. So they're coming on social media, whether it's the talk or it's the Fabletics, and they're looking for these people to pull them into their funnel and say, hey, we're going to give you this opportunity. Or sometimes it's just that they want to celebrate smaller business, and that looks good on them as well, right? So it's everything comes back down to a bigger objective.
Look at that.
The money,
Look at
exactly. I
that.
didn't want to say that. It comes down to the money. It comes down to giving other people, even giving you an opportunity sells back into the money. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
And once they do that, it works out. It works out evenly for everybody.
It does. So
So
when I
make your
was an
profits.
ambassador for the global brand, right? You know, I mean, if you know, you know. I mean, you can scroll through my stuff, but I learned so much about the behind the scenes. I just want to highlight what Crystal said. That Amber is one of her favorite instructors. Amber is, like, I would say follow her. She's hilarious too. And you know, people be coming to her comments talking, you know, left. She get them back right. But yeah, so what I learned from, here we go with this stuff. We just talked about them. They see, they got to make me touch the screen. Make sure they know a person is here. Come on. Okay, y'all hold tight.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm tapping.
Yeah. Okay, one more time. One more time. Okay. All right. So we're talking about, so what I learned when I was with the global brand. So first of all, our ambassadorship was only supposed to be 12 months. So that was like one of the few, if not the first time that it's happened, you know, with them, and, you know, especially in our market, in the Chicago market, because they were, you know, pretty new on the side where we were. But what I saw from behind the scenes, one, we knew it was all going to come back to the dollar, but the way they set us up, the connections that they allowed us to make, the doors that they opened up for us to walk through, helped us as small brands, as small businesses, to get on these global stages, to get on these world stages, you know, to be amplified on their platform. I mean, global, worldwide. It helped us to understand, one, we've been unknowingly shortchanging ourselves because we're looking at what we're being sold, right? Well, you only got 200 people. You know, we got, yeah. But what if I had a room full of 200, it was 200 CEOs in the room? Don't look at that number. Like you said, don't even worry about that number because you don't know who's behind those numbers. So for us, this is when we have to basically stay true to our brand. You stay true to what it is you're doing. Whatever your, I mean, your niche, if you call it a niche, if you call it your community, your subject matter, whatever it is, you stay true to that because that's what you can consistently do. That's what's sustainable for you. If you bust out and you come out with something else that, like you were talking about earlier, Ty, if you come out with something else that is not related, you got to keep that up because they're
Yeah.
going to come back looking for you and your shenanigans again. They want the shenanigans. And if you're not interested in your shenanigans, malarkey, and foolishness being out there, you got to be mindful about the things you're putting out while you're chasing the likability factor, right? Am I likable? People looking at my content, they like me, you know, like, or people who are not watching my content, that means they doesn't like me. But social media is controlling this. And do you think that these people are letting you come on their platforms totally for free and they ain't gaining from you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're gaining from you in some arena. In some
And you
arena, they're
have to
gaining from you.
gain from them because that's a relationship, honey. So be
Chess,
gaining from each other. And that's
chess.
when you have to be, intentional about it, because there are so many people that didn't know me before, and there are people who come on and it makes my heart feel so good when they say, I was watching you since you started. And I feel like, yeah, I just started. But they were like, yeah, before, you're waiting for your Pilates, you're this and that. And they'll be like, oh, it's so refreshing to watch you and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I get, that's the addictive thing too, in some type of way, because you're hearing this and people are cheering for you because in some ways they see themselves in you, right? So you being able to achieve gives them the ability to say, I'm able to achieve. You being able to interact with certain things give them that pulpit to say that I can do it too. So I love what you said about, if you're going to do one specific thing, if you're going to come and twerk and cook, you have to be that should be your
Cooking
personality.
with
If
Kaya,
it is
cooking
your
with Kaya, cooking
personality.
with Kaya. You know who that is? Cooking
Yeah,
with
yeah, I know
Kaya.
that one. I don't even watch, you see, and it's
But
so
that's her
interesting because I
brand.
don't
Think
even
about it. I
watch
don't watch her
TV.
either. I don't watch her either. But she hasn't popped up on my FYP when she was popular. At the time I went to go look. But I'm saying, look at what stayed in my head. Cooking with Kaya, cooking with. I mean, it was
Oh
so
yeah,
cute to
yeah,
me.
exactly. You have to have
Yeah,
something that is going to catch on. And here's the best thing about this, right? And this is what I learned. You don't know when your time is going to come,
that part.
but you have to be prepared for your time to come.
Work on
Because
your
if you're putting
sustainability
in
factor.
the work,
Yes,
then your time will come. And
yes,
you don't know what's going to pop it off. But
yes.
keep consistent. Like, there are people that keeps on coming on my page. They never follow me. That's fine. Keep consistent in what you're doing, because I'm telling you, at least on this app, as I've seen, that there are people that's truly sharing for you. On the other app, I just decided to start like sharing on that app, and lo and behold, very small growth, but it's growing.
Yeah,
And yeah, Kendra, preparation is the key. Prepare yourself and let people see what you're doing. Like, I'm very much into showing people, listen, I do Pilates. I don't just talk about Pilates, like, I live it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
people, and then there's some people who just never, like, I don't know, like, weird.
But okay, so back to what I was talking about with the global brand. So after we got into these certain doors, my sustainability, well, because we were a community of black ambassadors for this global brand. I mean, it was like it shook the company up, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But us having those opportunities and getting into those spaces. Now, remember, our contract was only supposed to be for 1 year. The contract was only supposed to be for 1 year. But when we started going into those spaces, them people like, wait a minute, like we like them. How can we get more of this? Our contract got renewed for 3 years, like 1 year at a time, but we lasted for 3 years. It was only supposed to be 1 year. That's it. We were supposed to be in and out, but we got renewed and we ended up having contracts for 3 years. And so that to me was that aha, like you said, stay consistent, stay true. And I just did me. I just did me. And I think I shared this with you all before. There's a big event in Chicago that they do. It's the summer series for the brand, for the global brand. And my class sold out. The first year that I did it, my class sold out in about, it was like maybe 2 weeks. But my class was the first, of the summer that sold out. Went there, did my thing. Y'all, been around me. And for those of y'all who haven't been, I'm me. Like I'm talking now, that's how I talk in class. I mean, but I use, correct anatomical terms sometimes, but then I just go back to, what it is, because people are not interested in your gastrocnemius when they got a Charlie horse and a calf, right? See, same thing. Same thing. So, that first year I did it, people, I'm not gonna say that they were receptive. I think they were more surprised that I was able to do that and switch from one thing to the other, because I do have to keep people informed. I do have to keep reminding people. I don't care who you've been with, even if you was with Mr. Pilates himself right now, you in my class, and I'm gonna need you not to be flipping over like that. I'm gonna need you, how I give people those warnings. So I did that first year. And that class, it went the way it was gonna go, and I kind of knew that because the majority of the people who were there were from another nation, right? So fine. So back by popular demand, the next year, my class sold out in less than a week. Less than a week. Like soon as they put the schedule up, less than a week. That's when all the mean girls came. All the mean girls came next year to the class. So it was 50 slots in the class. So the posse showed up, my Pilates posse showed up. I think we may have had maybe 12 to 15. So we were still, not the higher number, in the space. 3 people came up to me after class from the other side. It was a couple who were bike riders. They came up and they thanked me for, the exercises because it was good on their hip flexors, and they were just talking about, how it's going to help them bike riding, and they'll, continue to do those things. And then one guy was talking about my playlist. He was one of, I mean, this is just me guessing, making assumptions. He probably wanted to be the life of the party when he walked in, but he was like, oh, that playlist was everything. But the rest of them walked out. That was it. They left. They just left after class. I'm like, okay, bye. You're not going to change anything about me. You signed up for a class. You saw my picture. So you knew who I was when you came to the class. So did you really think I was going to let you come in here and take over my class? No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And so that was my way. I think Imani had posted something about like how do you like give attention to somebody without necessarily singling them out. That was one of my ways. Like I'm still walking through the class, but I'm making these announcements, baby. If you break something, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't filling out nothing. I didn't see nothing because they were trying to just go ahead and do what they wanted to do because you can tell they had some kind of experience in Pilates. I don't care what you got in here. I am dictating what's going to happen in here because I'm responsible for your safety. So if you decide that you're going to go do something else, that's on you. I ain't giving you my insurance ID information or nothing. I'm not filing anything. But the Mean Girls came out. The next year, they came out. And I was like, man, see you later. Okay. Not even thanks for coming. Like, why did you even come? And you paid your money. That was the wild part. It wasn't even free. They paid money to come to the class. You paid your money to come here.
I think that you'll always have some level of mean girls or
for sure
interesting characters within the Pilates space. To be honest, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of them. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of them, but I think it's important that if you're in the Pilates space to understand that this does exist, and second, like you say, command your class.
Correct.
That's super important. Like I will say to the entire class, stop. And I've done it in my assistant teaching. They're like trying to take over the class, and I'm like, stop. And even when I taught my class this weekend, I said, you're not going faster than your neighbor.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
How fast is your neighbor going? But it was so interesting when I did my video from the Pilates and Neighbors. One of the things my friend said, I didn't like your voice. And I said, what do you mean you don't like my voice? She's like, you sound so harsh.
Hey.
She says to me, you needed to be softer. I said, it's Pilates. You're not soft in Pilates. Like, what do you guys think? Because they're moving slower, you're softer. No, it's hard. It's very, very difficult, and you need to motivate, but it's not like I'm screaming at you, but I'm legitimately going to say to you, this is 50 minutes of your life. That's it.
Correct.
Push through.
Correct. But listen, that's like with me, with my voice. I mean, I went the yoga route initially, but I didn't do the entire certification. You know how you do when you get your
and you're like, it's not for me.
Right, like the conference. Yeah, you go to the conferences and you get the stuff that you need from there, and then you're like, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, we kind of worked on this a little bit, but it wasn't working out, too well. So yeah, I'm gonna come in this, and then it was the whole thing with the Christians and them talking about the worshiping the devil, and I was like, y'all doing too much, on my watch. Oh wait, is my lighting going down over here? Because it says my battery about to die.
Yeah, and I'm about to leave because my niece, and I told you this, my niece is coming from Jamaica, my niece and nephew, and they're like home, and I'm like, this is the addicted nature of this app, where I'm like, okay, I'm coming to, like, because I haven't been to one of your lives and stayed for a long time because I'm always in between doing something, and I was like, oh no, she's on live, let me like come through.
Well, I appreciate you coming through. I mean, everybody that's in the live, I do appreciate it. I don't know if we're gonna get cut off, so let me say my goodbye. I'm gonna talk until the phone cuts off. I think I'm at like 12%. But thank you so much, for joining us here. And if you are new to the self-care suite, welcome. We do this Sunday afternoons, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's where we come to kick off our shoes, relax our feet, and talk about the many ways to wellness. We exchange useful, sustainable, low cost or no cost self-care strategies, because financial challenges should not stop us from investing in our wellness account every single day. There should be something that we can do to be more well every single day, and it shouldn't have to break the bank. And so that's what we want to do here, sharing the strategies. And so if you just heard the conversation between me and Ty, and our other people.
One thing before I go. Can I just say one thing before I go really quickly?
Go ahead.
Hey guys, Coach Robin Renee is at 7,000 likes so far. Keep on tapping the screen. Let's get her to 10,000 likes before that 12% is gone.
Thank
so
you.
Tap, 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 tap. let's get her to 10,000. I know that we can do it. I'm definitely gonna tap and then be out. Okay,
Thank you
Coach?
so much. Yeah, thank you so much. See, that's the other thing we talking about, the addictive nature of this. But I think we gonna do another one on that, because I think people need to understand. You like when you get anxious and you're nervous about so many things on this app. I think people are not really tapping into the fact that that's stuff downloaded into your psyche. That's by design. They getting you hooked. You got to tap the screen. You can't go. How you gonna cut up potatoes if you tapping on the screen? Like, you can't do that. How you gonna wash the dishes? You know, if you liking it live and you gifting, there are a lot of things you're not able to do and be comfortable with, because you're trying to maintain, your place, in the whole algorithm, on at least this particular app. I'm pointing over here, but you all over here, I don't really know this one as well. I do know that engagement does count, but I don't think it's as strict or as rigid as over on the Tito kite. I don't think it's as rigid over there. But maintain your sanity no matter what. Maintain what's sustainable for you. And just ask yourself, you can have fun. We want to encourage you to have fun, even if you're here for your business or if you're just here to be a consumer. That's no judgment. But be able to keep some part of you in the process. Don't lose yourself, because if the people's come and they say we taking this away and it's gone, then is that taking away a part of you? Have you made such strong ties? We want community, but are the ties so strong that if it's taken away, it's like they're ripping apart a part of you. They're taking it, away from you. We don't want you to get into that space. So that's a part of your self-care. So just kind of, and if you feel that you were getting there, because I'm telling you, when I had to renew, what they call it, recharge, it was like 3 times in 1 week. That was in the beginning. When I said, wait a minute now, this is going too far. I don't make reckless financial decisions. And they're like, wait a minute, I done went back and recharged 3 times in 1 week. That's when I knew I had to dial it back. Like, this is, and then it just started coming back to my memory. Like, you know what? This ain't nothing but some gambling. This is a big old scam. And then the more I learned about certain apps, I ain't gonna mention the name, but when I learned more about certain, like, this is a big old scam. This is a pyramid scheme. This the casino. You won't be getting my last $2. No, not on that. Not on that. You say, yep, yeah. It was feeling scamish. And they keep sending you these messages. And if you want to keep your streak and go live right now, your video is trending. Okay, I'm going to bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You sitting up here sending me these notifications. So this is, you glad I said that because you found yourself. Yeah, listen, let me pin you up here, Tasha. I'm telling you, that's what made me dawn, because I was new to, coming to the lives and supporting people, and I'm listening to them. Of course, they're going to tell you to tap on the screen and hit your heart me and do it, because they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I was supporting people. And I'm like, okay, well, this is how I build community, because that's what I was being told. I'm not saying you can't build community like that. You can. But you got to be willing to, if that's an investment in your business and you see it as an investment in your business, for me, I saw it as financial recklessness. That wasn't an investment in my business. Initially, okay, until I get my balance. Now I'm strategic, and there are certain creators that I am going to go and support. That's a part of me investing in my business. But in the beginning, baby, they got the last $2. They got my last $2. I ain't the lady in the casino. I don't be at the casino. I don't be at the casino. So I had to step back and, put my own shoes back on, because, baby, these ain't the shoes that I trade in. So what you say, you're strategic with your support? For sure. For sure, you have to be. But initially, I was getting to know people. I was getting to know creators. And then I'm thinking, okay, and if I'm in your live and you going into all these battles and all that, like, wait a minute, like, my nerves. And so I'm trying to stay focused on what it is you're talking about, but then you jump out into another battle. So really, if you battling, I still support some people who do a lot of battles, but I'm strategic with that as well, because I'm going to support them because I like them and I like their content. But if you're doing 6 battles in 60 minutes, I'm going to support you and gift you however I'm going to gift you, and I'll have to leave it at that, because then that taps over into the space where I am, and it's what I don't do. I'm not a gambler. I don't make reckless financial decisions, and if that is how I have to support you, that's taking away from me. That's taking away from who I am. And I know there are other ways for me to support people, and that's why I do it the way that I do. It's my self-care. I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of myself. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? Ooh, wait. We have any more questions? We have any more comments? I think I am winding down. Am I at 10 yet? I can't see. 9. So the battles is for the Lord. Oh, yeah. Let me pin this. Oh, my God. I need to pin this and screenshot this. Oh, my God. The battle is for the Lord. I'm telling you. Yes, this battle is not mine. It's the Lord's. Come on now. Yes. So you say out of that, yeah, I do too. But sometimes when you get in there and then all of a sudden the other person pop up on the screen, you like, wait a minute, wait, and then the tapping or whatever. But I don't want to encourage that behavior for me. I'm not saying this against anybody, but I heard and I understand, especially when you get with agencies, they do want you to battle. Like Ty was saying, they want you to battle because it's the quickest way to make money. Well, making money quick, I'm from the hood, I'm just saying, making money quick comes with a warning label, comes with a caution. When we talk about that quick money, I want to know how legal it is. And then once I know how legal it is, what I got to do, what I got to sacrifice. I'm asking all kind of questions. Quick money don't entice me like that, and I'm glad. Even if I got $2, literally got $2 in my pocket, quick money don't entice me like that. So you said making money quick is dangerous and don't last. Let me pin you up here, Kendra. That's what I'm saying. I'm from the hood, girl. Look, you know how that goes. I mean, people from the hood, making that quick money, that fast money, quick money. First, I gotta ask how legal it is. I'm for real. I come from that, era and from that arena. How legal is it? And if it's legal, what do I have to do to sustain it? Because if it's quick for me to get it, it's quick for me to lose it. Or I got to do a lot for me to keep it, and then I'm worn out, and now I'm doing something that I wouldn't have done otherwise for some quick money. I can save my money. My bank, my first bank, my savings account, my checking account, and all that was mason jars, envelopes, and Crown Royal bags. I'm just saying that was my investment. I was a little kid, and I used to save like that. My envelopes with the name of what I'm saving for. Put my coins in my jars, and then I put all that in my Crown Royal bags, and then I had a shoebox. All that. We used to collect that. So you said making quick money. The purple girl, listen, baby, my uncles would come. And I had my uncles from down south, one in the city, one in Chicago, and one from Detroit. Baby, them bags. We ain't know, we really didn't know where they got the bags from. We just loved the purple. As kids, we did not. We walking around with our money in these purple bags, not knowing what was initially in the bags. We didn't know what was in the bags. But like, you got some bags. You got some purple bags. You say, them purple bags. Listen, Tasha, I'm telling you. Them purple bags, honey, please. Yes, we had our stuff in them purple bags. That was my installation for my mason jars because I had my coins in the mason jars. Because then sometimes your coins would get kind of heavy. But them was some strong bags, though. Even if you put your coins in there. But I used to like to pull my coins out, like the jar, so I can see. So I had my copper in one and I had my silver money in another. Listen, I mean, I'm telling you, that was my investment. That's how I started. My mason jars, my Crown Royal bags, my envelopes, and my shoe boxes. And that was my bank. The shoe box was the bank. It was the whole bank, and my stuff separated in there. Listen, they ain't have us learn how to play Monopoly for nothing. We learned about that money. And especially, I come from a big family, so especially if people on punishment and you one of the little ones, you can't go outside. So you learn how to play Monopoly. You learn how to play Monopoly because that's one of them games that took hours to empty the bank. Let me know if y'all play Monopoly. That was one of them. That was a game that I actually could play. And you learn how this world, or you learn how life operates when you know who was trying to get what was it, Baltic and Vermont Avenue, right? You got to be strategic with that. Like, how am I spending my money? You gonna stay out of jail? Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You got to learn how to do all that stuff. Gain them utilities, because no matter what property somebody got, they need your utilities. Get them railroads, because they got to transport the stuff that they doing. I'm just saying, I learned that as a little kid playing Monopoly. But yeah, good stuff. So your daddy kept money in Crown World, but yep. Them purple bags, honey. That was the bank. That was the original bank. But that's what we just have to learn. And so I'm going to encourage people, and especially if you are in that space, there's nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of us have been down that road, with this particular app, because it moves so fast and the energy is coming so fast and the people are talking so fast, you can get caught up. But like I said, I do have professional experience, years, decades, in the addiction industry. And it's not just to the drugs, it's to, not just the substances, it's to, food, it's to gambling, it's to sex, like all those things. Because those same neurotransmitters, those feel good neurotransmitters and hormones that's operating when you get on those mind and mood altering substances is the same thing that's working when your mind is being fed something and you're jumping into those spaces, which is why they had to come up with the whole Gamblers Anonymous, right? Because it was legitimate. People found out, like, wait a minute, this is the same stuff that's going on when you actually put that substance in you. You already have the the chemicals in your body to give you that high, to give you that euphoric. Can I say that word? Okay, wait. So that's another thing about this app. You got to watch what you're saying. But to give you that elevated state of being, I'll just say that. You already have that, in your body. It just needs to be activated. And one of those things is money. We got the money, the use of money, the love of money, the abuse of money, like all those sorts of things, they intertwine with one another. So just be mindful. Be mindful. But I'm telling you, that was for me. It only happened to me one time. I recharged 3 times in 1 week. Yeah, I got this. And let me pull myself up out of this situation because this ain't working. It's not sustainable. I do those things that are sustainable and that I can thrive and I can grow in. And that was a space that I wasn't going to be able to grow in. I wasn't going to be able to thrive in. And I had to be, like you said, Kendra, strategic about who I am supporting in those spaces because you can get caught up. Now, I was down there. I'm telling you, they got my last $2 3 times. I was like, yeah, this lady finna lead a casino because I don't do this. I don't do this. I don't do this. I love you. I love you like a play cousin. I'm just saying I love you, but we got to find another way for us meaning me, myself, and I, to support you. And doing that kind of stuff is not going to be the way for it. And I just have to be honest, about that because it takes away from me. It takes away from me not only financially, but it takes away from me as a person and the way that I operate because that's not how I operate. And I don't want to come somewhere and end up in the social media space that has changed the dynamics of how I operate with people. Nah, no, take it back, return to sender, or as my grandma would say, thank you, but keep it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna return that. We're gonna send that right back to where it came from. Let's see. I think we're gonna sign out, y'all. How much do I have? I'm at 9K. Thank you all for getting me to the 9K. What's up, Sora? How are you doing? How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. So I'm at 9K. Can we get to 10 though before my phone die down? That would be nice so I can get to the double digits if you're tapping on the screen. See, look at me. See? I'm going down that road. I'm going down that road. But seriously though, I do appreciate you all for all of the taps, all of the likes, for the conversation, for the communication. Tubers, shout out to you because you behave, but that DMW Will, whatever, I remember that name. And you probably came in and watched me from another account, but I remembered your name. That's how you got put in timeout today. I learned about the timeout button. They got a timeout button over here on the tube, y'all. It's a timeout button. And I learned about it, and the people's be going to timeout. So if you all have been with me before when I started my live journey, when I would have to shut my tubers down because of the ones that was getting wild, I don't have to do that no more because they got a timeout button, and I can just put the people in timeout. And they can come back under another account, which is fine. And then if they get reckless in that, then I put that account in timeout too. Because reporting you take a little bit too long, but I can immediately put you in the timeout, and I don't have to worry about you disturbing my life because I do have people who are on the tube, and thank you so much, who don't have social media accounts and they're not on social media and they only communicate with me live on the tube. So I do appreciate you very much for joining us here in the Self-Care Suite. Again, I am Coach Robin Renee. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your hostess today in the Self-Care Suite. This is where we meet on Sundays, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to kick off our shoes, relax our feet, and discuss the many ways to wellness. We exchange useful, sustainable, low cost or no cost self care strategies because financial challenges should not prevent us from investing in our wellness account every single day. We deserve to be well. We deserve to have something that we can do every single day to pour back into ourselves. And I made the commitment at the beginning of the year that I would do this on Sundays because Sunday is my chill day. Like literally, I'll be out here just chilling in my hammock on Sundays. But I made the commitment. I'm going to stick it through. But as I'm learning more and more, especially about the Talk app, we're going to be transitioning over to the tube. I'll do more on the tube because the dynamics of the way, at least for now, the dynamics of the way that the tube is working, it makes more sense. It's more sustainable for my brand. It's more sustainable for my business. But twerking situation over here, the Lord didn't bless me with that ability anyway. He probably knew I wouldn't be right with it, so I don't know how to throw it in a circle. It'd be in my head throwing it in a circle, but in actuality, it don't work out. It don't work out. So yeah. So you won't get no twerking over here, on the talk. But I do believe, at least for now, this is just my assessment. We're halfway through the year. Things could change, as we get into the winter months. You laughing, Tasha, but I'm for real. I'm telling you, if I knew how to do it, he knew not to give me. He was like, you know what? You're going to be a suburban street. You're going to be a little rural town. So I don't have all them curves and all that. I don't have the speed bumps and all. Yeah. The Lord knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. I'm going to give you a little bit. To make you a little interesting. But No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey, no lamb. You ain't getting all that. You ain't getting all that. So yeah, he ain't give me them abilities. I'm okay with it. I have come to terms with it. I have, I have sought some help to help me through that. I'm good though. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, so you all come back and and hang out. So for the my talker, well, both for both. I'll be in different spaces when it gets a little bit warmer, because on the other apps, what I would do when it came down to the winter time, so after Labor Day, because people out, they out kicking in ass summertime, they ain't listening. They are not listening. The people's having fun. I want to encourage that. But when we get into the colder months, I did last year. We talked about healthy holiday eating hacks, and I want to do something. So you said you love checking in on my life. Thank you so much, Just Tasha. So what I'm gonna do this year with my healthy holiday eating hacks, I'm going to actually visit vegan restaurants wherever I go. So if I'm out traveling, or if I'm just around the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. So if you're in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, South Side, or Indiana, I may do West Side, because I do go into the city sometimes. I may do West Side. More than likely, it won't be downtown, because the true Chicagoan ain't really trying to hang out downtown. I'm just saying. Well, let's just say Gen X. Gen X and older millennials, Chicagoans, we ain't trying to hang out downtown. So I want to do those places where people don't give a lot of shine to. So that's what our journey is going to be. So I'm planning it for October, November, and December. So I got to get 12 restaurants, or I may even repeat some, but I want to do like one each week. And so that's what the self-care suite is going to be. We're going to be going out. We're going to be eating, in the vegan restaurants, because I want people to learn how to incorporate some healthy holiday eating hacks, so you don't have to go off the rails all the time. Like, you can still go out. You can still, enjoy some good food, some really good, because we're in Chicago. So if y'all don't know nothing about Chicago, I'm just saying, Chicago got the food. Our weather is crap, but we got the food. Now, we don't have nothing else, and our vegan restaurants are on it. They're on it. They're on it. Okay, I think we're signing out. It's about to shut me down over here on the talk. So, tubers, I'm going to tell you all to take it like you go out and be greater than you were an hour and a half ago. Talkers, if you're still with me, same thing. You go out and be greater than you were an hour and a half ago. Peace, y'all. We're signing out.